Hey guys, this is the Ultimate Warrior, and in this video, I will be doing another episode of the Non-Review. And what video game are we not reviewing, but technically reviewing? Well, that video game would be none other than Shantae's Genie Hero for the PS Vita. Now, just a disclaimer, I'm not a person who funded this through Kickstarter, and nor do I really know the Shantae's Genie Hero or the Shantae series all like that. I am like a newcomer, so I'm a total newbie. And I've only actually heard about Shantae and her video games last year, when I just happened to be talking to an eBay seller that was telling me about some good 3DS games. And I just happened to saw on his profile that he sold like a Shantae game, like a Game Boy Color game, for like a high price. So I figured, why was that price so high? And then I looked into like the research of why. So that was as far as my Shantae's Half Genie. I was gonna say Shantae. That's as far as my Shantae's knowledge went. So yeah, definitely a latecomer. But I just happened to just go on GameStop's website, because I do that weekly, if not daily, and to see the upcoming games for the PlayStation Vita, because I'm always playing my Vita, and I'm always looking for new and exciting games that come out on it, despite it not getting Sony support. I'm a little bummed out because there's not that many games for it, and there's not that many coming out. Although I will say that as of right now, there are more games coming out for the PS Vita than there is for the PlayStation 3. So there's that. Yes, if you don't believe me, check out the GameStop's website. Now, that might change in the fall, but right now, the Vita is like beating the PS3. But anyways, I just happened to see this game, and I was like, Shantae, where have I heard that name before? Oh, it was like a Game Boy Color game, very expensive. And so the price of this was $30, pretty much, more or less. Actually, a little bit more with tax, but it was like $29.99 to pre-order. Well, not to pre-order, but I paid $29.99 for this because that was the retail value. And it came with like an awesome soundtrack if you pre-ordered. I think you could still get it if you don't pre-order, but I figured, why not? I have the money. This is interesting. Like, it seems like a lighthearted game to play. Well, and I'm always looking for games on the Vita. So I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and pre-order this to get the soundtrack just in case it's good. And I will get to it in a minute why I do not regret that purchase. Or that pre-order. But anyways, as far as this game goes, wow. Just wow. This game met my expectations, and not only met my expectations, but surpassed my expectations. And just the level of funness. It's not like a super heavy story where it's just chock full of like just some deep, emotional, like a story twister or whatever you want to call it. But I will say, however, that this game is leaps and bounds better than Mafia 3. So yeah, I really enjoyed this game. And I clocked in at about a little over 17 hours playing this game. So, and that's with me doing relic hunting. That's with me, like, looking at all of the stuff and, or trying to find, like, all of the hidden powers and whatnot. Like, your special powers and, like, your treasures or whatever. So, yeah, it's a short game. It was, like, 5 areas that you could explore. But I thought it would be, like, about 20. But I guess not. So, that's one drawback of the game. But it was definitely fun. Another thing was the soundtrack. Oh my gosh. This soundtrack is amazing. And this soundtrack is so awesome. I am so happy that I pre-ordered this game. This soundtrack gives me like a 90s feel. When I played it, like some of those tracks, I just felt like I was back in the 90s. like playing games from the 90s. Like this game reminds me of Jazz Jackrabbit too, and Crash Bandicoot to an extent. I know, and it reminds me of Sonic Fire Boom and Ice. And in my non-review of Sonic Fire Boom and Ice, or Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, I said the same thing. That game reminded me of Jazz Jackrabbit 2 and Crash Bandicoot because of the music. And this game does the same. I feel like if you went back to like a 1990s version of me, or like an early 2000s version of me, and you gave me this game like on the computer, I feel like it would blend right in, and I wouldn't realize that this was like a game from the future. Like the soundtrack is like absolutely amazing. I loved listening to the just to the tracks in here. My favorite tracks were the ones in the factory, and the bathhouse one was good too. More on that in a minute, but yeah, the ones in the factory, that reminded me of the 90s the most. Like, I don't know what it is with me in the 90s, but I'm just like, I'm stuck in the 90s, and just to have a game like this take me back and have me think, wow, have me think about, Jazz Jackrabbit 2, which was like an epic game in my opinion. This, you can tell the person who did the music, whose name is like Jack Kaufman apparently, didn't find that out till today. Yeah, he really did, just put a lot of care into this, but apparently he's done some good pieces. So yeah, props to him. The music, the soundtrack is like, I would give it a 9 out of 10, and that's just because I wish there were more tracks that made me feel like it was in the 90s here. But the tracks that are there are definitely good, especially one where it's like the theme song and they're singing. And about that, I wish that song was played at like one of the final boss battles, like the one where you're facing Risky Boots. That would have been epic. Or just like the very last battles with, okay, this is like a spoiler alert, so yeah, this is gonna have like a lot of spoilers in it. But yeah, the final battle where you have to like face the corrupted genies, I wish that was either playing there or like during the Risky fight. That would have been really interesting. The song with that actually has like the lyrics to it. Not much about it was negative, but alright, give me one moment. Hit a blank. Oh, touchscreen. I wish that there was a touchscreen feature on here, but apparently not. I was a little bit surprised. I felt like, touchscreen could have been done, but it's not really a game breaker. You can use like the analog stick or the directional keypad to move Shantae around. And I started off with the not directional, but the analog stick, but that just got to be a little bit too annoying for me. Because she would like go in the opposite direction or whatever. I don't know. I'm just a person. When it comes to platformers, I prefer the directional pad. Up, down, left, right. But another negative point was kind of like the character development in the story. Now I get it. Fans of like the original Shantae, they're probably going to understand the depth of the characters more and might anyways, maybe a little bit disappointed, some of them I know at least, with how there was like a lack of character development, or it seems like all of their good traits were taken away, or just not went into in depth or anything, or I don't know. I've heard a lot of things about it, but from my perspective playing, like as a first timer, I really wish that, just moving this webcam around so I can, it's on my leg, so I'm trying to be comfortable, so sorry about that. But I really wish that the characters went more in depth. Like I really liked, was it her brother? Baron? This dude right here with the blue hair. He was really awesome, but I just wish he had more of a presence. I wish I got to know more of his personality, even though he seemed kind of like a ditz maybe. But he was cool. And I wish I could have saw more of him. Because there's like this one part towards the end where Shantae, she like gets filled with like dark magic or whatever. And she, so her friends are coming to her. And they're like, snap out of it. And like Roddy Tops is like, we've been friends for a long time. You've always treated me good. I'm like, okay, well, from my perspective, I've never seen that. I mean, but Shantae seems really nice to you, so I guess I'll just believe it. So I really wish that was more explained in depth. Or not more explained, but I just wish that there was more character depth to make me want to connect with these characters some more. Then Baron, I really wanted to... Is that his name? Baron. Well, I'm gonna call him Baron. I know, like, a bad guy was named Baron, but I don't know why do I feel like his name is Baron, but I can't remember. Anyways, the blue-haired dude. I wanted to see more of him. I wanted to see like a serious side to him if he had one. So, I really like Risky Boots' character. I thought she was a good villain. Would have been nice to see a little bit more of her. Apparently she had a lot of debt in Pirate's Curse. But, you know, she was good for what it's worth here. The bathhouse. The bathhouse is really interesting. One point I wish they would have done differently is that when you get into the bathhouse, the hints are fine. Sometimes, for the most part, I'll get into that in like a minute. But right when you get into the bath, there's like this jazz-like music playing, which I really like. But when you also like take a dip in the water there, your health heals. And in my opinion, I thought it healed like a little bit too fast for me, for my liking. Because it's like, say you have like half of your hearts, or you're like halfway before you the game's about to be over. And so you just take a little dip in there, and then all of your hearts come back in around 30 seconds or less. So I wish that process was slower, because, you know, just so I can have a reason just to like sit in that bathtub and listen to the music. But no, you heal really fast in the bathtub. It's kind of like wham bam goodbye. No reason to be here anymore, like, unless you need another hint. But speaking of which, that brings me to like my next negative talking point about the game, the hints. Like, the people in Scuttletown, they'll give you hints and whatnot, and the lady in the bathhouse, she'll give you hints, but it's like if you complete the things in that hint, but you haven't completed like everything before you move on to the next level, like they'll just keep giving you those same hints over and over again. And that was kind of frustrating, to say the least, because it's like, okay, I got this transformation and I got this relic, and you're still telling me that there's like some fancy transformation thing at like the top of the highest burning rooftop. And it's like, I got that like an hour ago, and I'm trying to figure out what else I need to get. Give me something else. But it's like, no. So that was really confusing, because it made me question, was this the right thing? Did I really get it? But yeah, it really doesn't break the game that bad. I'm glad it was all there. I'd rather have that than to have no hints at all, because I definitely needed them in this game, because just the way this game was, it was hard to tell how far that you progressed, because there's a lot. I feel like I got something in my eye, but there's like a lot of backtracking in that game, just to go back and get secret transformations. But it was tedious, but it was fun. I feel like I got something in my eye. Sorry if I look weird right now. I'll just turn the camera so I don't look too odd. Alright, that should do it. Oh, where was I? Oh yeah, when you backtrack, it's tedious, but it's fun when you're looking for like a special transformation or a relic. And I will say that this is one game where it inspired me to try to use a guide as least as possible. I think I only looked at like a walkthrough on YouTube like once or twice. But other than that, to find like the special stuff, I did it by myself and I feel happy because usually when I play a video game I need like a guide or like a playthrough. But no, this was so fun. I wanted to be able to do most of it, if not all by myself. And I felt so good once I found that final transformation or figure out where on earth were these people in Scuttle Town talking about and where is it and whatnot. So yeah, this game is definitely rewarding when you find everything. And it will take a while to find everything. The designs of this game are great. Like they are really great. Like you have this mouse transformation and like the designs that you think are like in the walls and stuff, like no, it's actually a maze that you have to go through. And I just thought that aspect was really neat. Switching between the mermaid and the crab was a little bit repetitive, especially having to like get through narrow places. It's like, okay, how can her mermaid superpower bubble break a stone wall but it can't break through glass? Why do I need a crab to do that? Like, just why? I mean, I guess it makes sense if we have to talk about like a realistic point of view. But I don't know. I just think they could have probably did something. I don't know, have like a combination or just have it to where the mermaid can do everything. So, but a mermaid is different from a crab, obviously, so I can't really give them too much slack there. What else? Yeah, this video is gonna be really long, but so just hang with me for a moment. Trying to think, there's a few other things I didn't really like. Oh, the dialogue. I'll just mention, I wish that there was like a full dialogue, but I know that I don't think that Kickstarter reached their stretch goal, which is fine with me because I don't know. It seemed like I could watch this as a cartoon. It makes me wonder, has this ever been a cartoon before? Which I don't think so, but if it did, or if it was a cartoon, man, this would be a fun cartoon to watch. I think I might watch it. If it ever did come out for like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or something like that. It looks like a really fun cartoon, and whoever voiced Risky, but whoever voiced Shantae, they did a really good job for the lines that they did do. And I enjoyed listening to her. I just wish that was like funded as a stretch goal. I just wish that the Kickstarter made more money for that. But it is what it is, and for a platformer like this where you got your protagonist and like great games like Crash Bandicoot, like he's not really talking. The only thing he's saying is whoa when he dies. So if a game like that can pull off no dialogue and that sense, then yeah, this is definitely fine. I just wish that the Kickstarter was made more apparent, because I probably would have backed this if I knew about it, maybe. But no. But that's just a little small thing. I'm sure it got a lot of support, and it did. And another thing I want to mention, this isn't a bad thing, but it's a good thing. I mentioned it in my pre-impression video of this, and I can't talk. Having a hard time talking tonight. Voice wants to like act up on me, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm really glad that WayForward decided to make this for the PS Vita, so they do get bonus points for that. So it's like I said it last time, and I'll say it again. Thank you, WayForward. Thank you. And thank you. Like, I hope you make more games for the PS Vita. I was especially concerned after the PS3 and the Xbox 360 got the axe to this game. But yeah, just the fact that this is on the PS Vita, which if you're considering buying this game and you have a PS Vita, Personally, I recommend getting this game for the PS Vita. That way you can have it on the go with you. And I feel like games like this is definitely better on the go. But hey, as long as you buy the game, it's all good with me. Especially new, because they deserve every penny for this game. As far as the replayability goes, I beat the game. You can go back with all of your your transformations and play the game again. But for some reason, I just don't feel like doing that, because I think you have to get your special powers back, because some of that stuff is still locked. And it's like I did most of my relic and treasure hunting and whatnot in the first game. I didn't have a need to go back to it, but I am looking forward to the DLC with, I think, Risky Boots or like the other characters, depending on how much it costs. I do plan on getting that too, so I hope it comes out in the near future, because I definitely want to support this game. Sorry if I keep looking at this game. I'm sorry. It's just helping me remember what I had to say about it. Speaking of which, there's this one villain on here. I don't even remember her name, but if you played this game, and I'm assuming that you did at this point if you're watching past the 20-minute mark, but if you played this game, then what's that girl that replaced Shantae? I can't remember her name, but she had the ponytails and she was a little bit snobby. She was one of the bosses. I don't know, but she had that rare worm that the worm fed off of memories. That was one thing that kind of got to me, you found a worm and it feeds off of memories. How do you feed off of a memory? And then she does something and all these sparkles come or something, if I'm remembering it right. And the worm is just eating the memories. And she wants all of the memories to be eaten so people can just remember her. What the heck? Really? How do you feed off of a memory? Is it nutritious? I'd like to do a taste test on that one day and just read off the nutrition facts. That was kind of out there. I don't know if there was some backstory involved in that, but that just seemed just way off in the left field. And I should know, because I got not NBA, but I got MLB 2012 today. So, been playing a little bit of baseball for my Vita. It was $2.99 at GameStop, so I figured why not. So yeah, that was way out in the left field. Memories? You're eating memories and you want people to just know you? That had to be the weirdest explanation for a boss battle. But that's nothing that broke the game. I just thought it was interesting and something that's worth noting down. I just ran with it okay, well, this worm is feeding off the memories of people. Let's just beat this thing up and give everyone their memories back. Because, who wants to remember that boss? And, you're just a memory yourself? Can we, Control, Alt, delete it or something? But, I don't know, the boss fight for that was fun. I just figured that was a interesting thing to mention. Oh, another thing while I'm looking at it, this game is, rated T for teen. And I thought about buying this game for my nephew, the one that you see often. I thought about buying that for him for the PlayStation 4. But then I realized this game is rated T for teen and his parents are really strict on rated T for teen games when he's 9. So I'm just thinking, just moving the webcam again, sorry. But I'm just thinking, why on earth is this game rated T for teen? Why? But you know what? I found out. It's several reasons. I know they tell you down here. Let me get it. Cartoon violence and suggestive themes. Just Shantae, she's pretty much wearing a bra only when it comes to the shirt from the waist up. So yeah, I guess. And the Giga Mermaid, she's kind of sexualized, I guess. She's like wearing this top that look like it's about to burst off of her. So I guess I could understand that. But aside from what fell under these suggestive themes in that sense, there are some dark themes in here, surprisingly. The biggest one being the whole mermaid thing, where apparently the gator dude, what's his name, Baron, like everyone's name is just Baron to me in this game. But yeah, the gator dude who's at the factory, so like the boss up there where he had like Gigi the mermaid. Apparently now if I get this wrong, correct me on this, but from my knowledge, like he was kidnapping like the girls and like forcing them to like dress like a mermaid and like putting fish on their lower half so they can somewhat be like a fake mermaid, then like wrapping them up in like some type of fish thing and feeding it to the boss mermaid, and just pretty much selling it as like what, canned mermaid meat or something. I don't know. He was selling that stuff for like consumption. Like, you're doing that? Like, really? That's what's in here? Like fake mermaids of live people? And you're feeding it to like people or like this big mermaid? Now, if I'm wrong, please correct me on here. Let me know if that was not the case, but that was the impression that I got. And I'm like, wow, this game is darker than the last song. Like cannibalism? You're like feeding these innocent girls to this mermaid thing too? So yeah, that was one thing, and you know, this one I should have seen coming, being that this is a Genie game, but you know, the talk of like dark magic and light magic and stuff, you know, I know like a lot of people don't really care about it because it's a video game, but I do know some people, you know, I'm not gonna lie, myself included, dark magic, you know, I don't really want to dabble in that. You know, because people do like black magic, white magic. That's not really my realm. But, you know, in this setting, it really wasn't expounded on, so. Well, yeah, where you have to like collect the dark shard. Some people are kind of iffy about that in video games. And like even the funny thing is, while I was thinking that, like, whoa, I gotta find like a dark magic shard. Even Shantae was like, I don't even like to mess with dark magic. And I'm like, no kidding. So, yeah, I could see how that would be rated T for teen or a little bit controversial for people. But, yeah, other than those things, you know, the scantily clad ladies and the kind of dark and controversial themes, I don't see why this is rated T for teen. But, yeah, was there anything else that I had to comment on? Because it's getting almost past the 30-minute mark. Don't want to hold you guys up for too much longer. I'm really surprised if you've made it this far and watched the whole video from, like, beginning. Yeah, I wish this was longer. This is like an epic game. And you know, oh, that's another thing. Like the upgrades. I wish that there were more upgrades. Because it's easy to like buy most of the upgrades. Like your weapons and stuff ahead of time. Like I had trouble beating the Gigi the mermaid, and I needed more health and whatnot, so I tried to get as many of the weapons and power-ups that I could, but I felt like they were underutilized. Like, I wish I could have used more of them, but not only were they underutilized, but a lot of them were like underpowered in my opinion. Like, I'm sorry, but if I'm going, I think a flamethrower should be more powerful than like the whip of your hair. And like when you're like having like a bunch of swords, a circle of swords around you, and you're just like cutting through your enemies. For some reason, your hair is more powerful than a bunch of swords. So it took longer to defeat the bad guys. And that was pretty much the main reason why I didn't really use them. But I don't know, I wish it was more balanced in that sense. Maybe it was balanced. I don't really know much about balancing, but I do wish your power-ups were a little bit more effective. I guess that's the word to use. And you know, while we're on villains, I gotta admit, the villains here are like very awesome. My favorite villain is or villains I should say, are the techno gators. The gators that work at the factory. Those gators are just so adorable. It's like I don't want to like hurt them. Cause you know they're so cute. You got these gators, they got on like the red goggles. They're like obese, they're overweight, they got on a construction hat and they're just waddling around smiling, and then they're like looking left and right like this just to see if like someone's coming. I'm just like, they are just so adorable. And the fact that I have to like use a flamethrower on them to freaking get some gator steak, I felt a little bit bad. Because it's like, I don't want to harm you, gators. You look too cute. I don't know. They're just my favorite villains, and it actually made me want to go as a cosplay of a gator, a techno gator, from Shantae's Have Genie Hero, which not gonna do. But if I had the means to, I would. That's how awesome they were, and they had like the best music in that factory. But yeah, they were. No, they were really cute. So I enjoyed them as the villains. I enjoyed most of the villains. They were really creative and just fun to beat up. It's just like your Tinkerbats and whatnot. Those are fun to beat up. You're got the Techno Gators, which I didn't want to beat up. I wanted to become buddy with them and ask them how did they get into the construction industry. Because I want to do some warehousing in the future, get a job, you know, in a warehouse, but that's neither here nor there right now. Is that all I had to cover? Probably not. I could just like go on forever and ever. Now, at this point, if I was filming this on my PS Vita, it would have shut off like 2 minutes ago, because there's like a 30-minute limit. But I'm super excited to see the DLC, and I'm hoping to get it. This game is just super amazing, and like I said, if you're at this point now with all the spoilers, you probably played it, but if that doesn't matter to you, then yeah, you should get this game, and I would encourage you to buy it new so Way4 can get paid for their hard work. And hopefully bring out a whole bunch of DLC. And who knows, maybe a sequel to this. Sorry, I thought I remembered something that I had to say about the weapons, but apparently not. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this game. And this game is a must get for PS Vita fans. For Shantae fans, for gaming fans, for platforming fans, or a new word I just learned today, Metroidvania fans. Wait, no, because they said that this moved away from like the Metroidvania style, but I don't care. Even if you're a Metroidvania fan, you should still get this. Yeah, I guess this is about all that I have to say on the matter. Now watch, as soon as I end this video, there's going to be like 100 points that I'll just be like, darn it, I forgot to cover. But, if I had to give this a review, like a score, I would give this an 8.6 out of 10. This game is definitely worth it. It's worth every penny. It's worth it at $30. Heck, I think it'd be worth it at $40. Yeah, I guess that's about all. If I do happen to remember something, I'll try to put it in like the description below. But oh, I do remember something. It's like not a negative point, but I just love the options in here while I'm still on this. I've heard a lot of people complain about, well, you can get like infinite magic at the end, and you can have like invincibility for the bosses. Like that breaks the game. You're too powered up. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, I use invincibility to like beat the final boss on here. And I sure did use my infinite magic. I got everything that I could before getting into the final boss fights. And while I can understand that that's like a legitimate concern, I love the fact that you can turn this off in the game if you want to. That way, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. But if you're like me and you got other things to do, and you don't want to spend 5 hours on like a boss battle, which I seriously doubt. I seriously doubt I would have spent 5 hours on this, but I didn't want to get frustrated. So for people like me who has like a backlog they need to attend to, yeah, use that infinite stuff, infinite magic, use your invincibility. I'm all about choices, so people can have it to be difficult if they want. Or you can turn this stuff on and you can just become like this Super Saiyan Genie. So, yeah, I figured I would address that. But now I think that I am done. And that this video, I'm not going to say that this video is one far too long. Because I feel like it could go longer, even 50 minutes if I wanted. Of just talking about the game. But I've said most of the stuff that needs to be said. But if you are slightly or even remotely interested in this game, I would definitely recommend it. Especially for the PS Vita if you can. Brand new. But if not, other versions, PS4, Xbox. Wait, Xbox One, did they get it digitally? But yeah, I would recommend this game. Just buy it on any platform that you want to. That it's out for. Bonus points for PS Vita because we got to keep this thing running. And let others know that we want more games on here. But yeah, 8.6 is what I would give this game. So with that being said, I think I will end the video right here. And I am going to debate if I'm going to do another drink test right quick of some aloe vera juice. But if you happen to like this video, and you are a fan of video games / ultimate game stuff in general, or even drink testing, taste testing, or toys, then feel free to check out the rest of my channel. And if you happen to like what you see on there, then please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, do what you gotta do, and I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.